Today I'm doing axles on an 80s model Airstream. I upgraded these to the Dexter Never Lube, which is a sealed bearing. So supposedly you never have to grease them. You can't grease them. There's no way to do it. You replace bearing cartridges. So anyway, we've got one kind of in place here. And these new axles, I ordered these from High Sky RV, supposed to be Airstream people. As you can tell, the bolt holes don't line up, which I'm not sure what that means, but possibly I'm gonna have to drill out part of the frame. You can see I kind of torched it anyway, so that's not the end of the world, but these axles were about $2 grand, so I kind of expected them to work a little better than this. Anyway, I'll check back in here in a little bit and we'll see how this is going. Okay, and the method I'm using to install these axles, I'm doing this by myself, is I'm setting them on the dollies, furniture dollies. You have to, I mean, it just depends on how high you jack it up. But for me, I had to lower this thing way down, so that one's sitting lower on the dolly. And then I have a strap that goes through to the other side, and I just pull them underneath. And that's all there is to it. And that's a donkey. All right, let's see how this works. There it is. Okay, and once you got the axle in there, to jack it up, I position one of the axle pad or the jack pads on the back of the flange that bolts to the frame on the axle tube. And then I put the other jack on the actual axle tube, kind of about 2/3 of the way through. That way you get a little leverage on the other side if you need to maneuver it. And that kind of gives you control over all the axes of motion here. So I've got that other side sort of jacked up, so now I want to bring this one up. You'll see it won't try to rock back on me. I'm gonna do this with one hand. Anyway, so that's how I hold it up in place when I'm doing it by myself. 2 jacks, of course, put thousands and thousands of jack stands and blocks and everything else you can think of under here to keep this thing from falling. So anyway, I hope that idea was a helpful one. I don't know if it was or not. So we've got the axles in, they're all tightened up. Shocks are on. One thing that I'm not real sure about, these axles in the relaxed position like this, the shocks are too short for them. You can see them pulling on their bushings quite a bit. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. Again, all this stuff was purchased through High Sky RV. And right now, I cannot recommend them. So, because I've had a lot of extra work, had to cut the bolt holes. The axles don't, they just don't, it's hard to say. They just don't seem to fit right. The hubs on the Never Lube axles are bigger, so they won't work with your steel wheels, which I didn't know. The guy didn't mention it to me when I bought it. Found that out when they got here. So we got to get new wheels. So anyway, we're all done. I'm gonna go call him and see what to do about these shocks. So anyway, there you go. Okay, just got off the phone with him. He was a little bit standoffish, but he basically said that, oh, of course you got to re-drill the new bolt holes. I tell everybody that. And this has never happened to me before. This is the 3rd trailer I've done. Never had to re-drill bolt holes, more than just maybe something you could do with a file. And as far as the length of the shocks are concerned, I think it has to do with the fact that the bolt holes don't line up, so it moves the axle farther back just a little bit. But he said just to preload it and put the shock in there, so that's what we're going to do. I don't think that's right. But it probably has something to do with these are a steeper angle, more like the modern Airstreams where it's a little bit taller. So it could be a combination of both of those things. And then, of course, the wheel issue is I've got to buy new wheels. So all these things you need to keep in mind if you're going to the Never Lube axles, and if you do decide to go with High Sky RV, they're not real helpful, and they'll basically they're a little standoffish with you. So anyway, I hope that was helpful, and if you have any questions, please let me know, and I'll try to answer them.